the consensus, if one may say so, is that human life takes precedence over almost every other commandment, including those things that are considered the most holy things within the religious forms. Almost everything has to yield to the consideration of human life, which is, say, keeping the holiness of the Shabbat is a very high principle. In fact, anybody that desecrates the Shabbat is stated from the Ten Commandments and further that it is a capital crime. Still, when it comes to human life takes precedence, which means when there is any consideration about human life, then it takes precedence, and you push away the Shabbat or the Day of Atonement or the laws of kashrut, or in fact almost any other law is pushed aside. There are exceptions, which are in themselves sometimes within the same realm, and they come to in a kind of trying to find out from that very basic principle stem also different other considerations, and sometimes they create in themselves clashes or problems. But basically, the law says that human life takes precedence. Now, human life takes precedence, and that has practically at least two different, similar but different applications. One is in a case not common now, but common in other places, when one is under duress, because outside forces, outside people, force him to do certain things, threatening him with death. What should one do? And because the sanctity of human life is held so much in such a high level, then the answer would be yield. Not because yielding is a praiseworthy way, but rather yield because that is a clash with almost with sorry for using science fiction language, with the prime directive, which is in this case conserve human life. As I stated again, it is not absolute, but it is close enough to that, which means that any under duress, I am yielding. Now, duress can also have a very different position, which is a clearly medical one. There is a medical necessity for a person to do certain things that are, in a way, involving breaking the law in one or more positions. Doing it is, therefore, again, derived from that first principle. It is permissible because all other considerations are secondary to that of the sanctity of human life. So we have here something which is at least a framework about if we would come to ask, but later on we'll have to refine it and even deal with a great number of practical questions that stem from it, because in one way, the question can be asked in the following way. What is the value of human life? And the answer should be almost, not entirely, close to infinity. Now, that has all kinds of results, but still, it gives some parameters about behavior, about expenditure, and about quite a number of other considerations that are all stem from that principle, but are growing in practical forms, each in its own position. So there we have one principle that can be considered as the very basic principle at least of ethics that have to do with life, and because of that, with medical ethics in real life. If we go on into as the right Talmudic way would be, which is asking questions and more questions, and raising many different problems that come from conflicts, then we'll find out that even such a simple and seemingly straightforward statement is in itself open to more than one consideration, and that is one of the things that have to be dealt with. Some of them have solutions within the Talmudic literature as it is clearly and openly. Some of them are problems to discuss, to deal with, to ponder upon, and so that is the second level of questions that come from this very primary formula.